The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Coaching incompetence. That is what we continue to see when we watch the New York Jets. We'll discuss that and much more when Jets film analyst Andrew Fialkow joins us in his weekly spot on the show. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. This is the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Before we bring on today's guest, the great Andrew Fialkow in his weekly spot, a reminder to join my Patreon so you can get access to our Discord channel. You can get every item in the merch store 15% off by going to jakeasman.com and getting your merch there. Your name will be added to the intro. Bonus shows you'll get every month, not on YouTube, and a whole lot more. Thank you to everyone who supports me there. You guys allow me to continue to do this YouTube gig full time. So thank you to Sonny Miller, 25, and the Hamburger, our three most recent Patreon subscribers. Join before Thursday if you plan on joining the Patreon so we can add your name to the list of names in the intro before the start of next month. All right, joining us right now in his weekly spot to talk about the state of the Jets and go through some film from this debacle on Sunday is the aforementioned Andrew Fialkow. Andrew, how are you hanging in? How you holding up?
I don't know, man. It is what it is at this point. It's just as disappointing as it gets. I feel like I've been coming on here. The Jets haven't won a game since I think September 17th it was. So it's
since we met in person, September 19th at the Patriots home opener. Yep.
And it's October 29th, and they've still not won a game. So, yeah, I mean, just the crash that this team has taken, it's not something that any of us, I think, anticipated, and that's why it's so disappointing. I don't know. I just don't. I know I'm a lot younger than most listeners, but I recent years, I don't think I could think of a season that was this disappointing. And it already is. It's not November yet, and all we talked about all offseason is how we wanted to play some meaningful football in December, and we're not going to be doing that this year. It doesn't look like.
It's just pathetic, man. Even last year they were 4-3 and gave you some hope, and it's just tough. It really is. And you're a little younger than me for sure, but this is as bad as it has ever been in my lifetime, your lifetime, and I've had long-suffering Jet fans on this show who have supported this team since pre-Super Bowl III, and they say it's the worst it's been too. So considering the hope and the hype and the expectations and the talent we thought was on this team, and still I do believe this team does have a lot of talent. They should be better than 2-6.
Yeah.
To be 2-6, basically facing like real elimination on Thursday, it's just crazy to fathom.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, if they lose Thursday, it's legitimately over. I still think it's over as of right now. But yeah, Thursday, if they lose, it's over. I mean, the fact that I looked and we're favored in that game is just like I don't understand at this point what goes on. But I know the Texans are banged up with like Nico and Diggs out now, so maybe that influenced the spread. I don't know. I don't understand it, but I
mean, Sauce got cooked by Kayshon Boutte, so I don't know if it really matters who the receivers are for Houston.
That play was absolutely mind-boggling. But yeah, I mean, it's just how they lose every game. Every week I come on and we talk about, I'm sure you talk about on the show, that they just come up with new ways to lose the games. We still have a kicker that is continuing to lose us games, but he's on the active roster. I've never seen a team ran so poorly. Like this is going to be looked back on. I think it's going to be talked about as one of the most poorly ran teams, and that's with like the McCagnon era, the Idzik era. I don't know. Yeah, like it's going to be looked back on like quite possibly worse than those eras. Like this is as bad of a job that you could do. I don't know. I don't want to blame Douglas like fully for it. Like it's just like overall infrastructure failure. Like everyone has their own place in this failure. Woody, we would be in a way better place if he sold the team tomorrow. Everyone is not at everyone's at fault here. So that's just the bottom line.
100%. So we'll go through some film here and just kind of talk about how the Jets could actually lose this game on Sunday because, I mean, once again, they made history. We talked about it the last couple of days. They're the first team ever to score 20-plus points, not turn it over, allow fewer than 250 yards, and still lose. NFL teams that have done what the Jets did on Sunday were 750-0 before this game. So it goes back to what we've said, like the last 5 weeks. It's not only that they're losing, it's just a way they find new ways to lose, even for Jet standards, like burning 3 timeouts in the first quarter. Taking a delay of game penalty, 2-point conversion. It's just mind-boggling, and that's the pain of being a Jet fan, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I mean when they're just coming up with new ways to lose. Are you going to pull up the little blurb? We could just Go
ahead, yeah.
I mean, what stands out to me here is like the consistent inability to line up before the play clock is at a really below 10. Like even last night, I wasn't watching the Giants-Steelers game that closely, but then I watched a few plays because I'm like, wait, let me just see. I don't always watch every play so closely where I'm like, what's the play clock at? Like the Giants are getting out of the huddle with like 17 to 20 seconds, and Daniel Jones was getting the snaps off with like a normal amount of time on the play clock. It's always been a rush. We talk back from week 1. It's been a rush every single time. It's so coming down to the 1 second. 1 second. Oh, we might have to use a timeout. And this is not something out of the ordinary for Rodgers. I saw a stat today on Twitter that he's been either second to last or last in how much time's left before the snap on the play clock since 2019, I think. This is something he consistently does, but I mean, it cannot. This is spending 3 timeouts in the first quarter is a fireable offense for many people. Like you cannot, you cannot do that. That's fireable. And then somehow, some way, like Rodgers was taking his big old time on the 2-point conversion that ended up being very important. He's checking it with the line. He's giving them protection. He has no idea what the play clock's at. Again, I don't remember how many timeouts we had there. I feel like we had one because I remember we used one when the Pats had the ball. You use a timeout there. It's a huge difference needing 2 yards rather than 7 with a potential 7-point lead compared to 5. I just have no explanation for how bad the in-game stuff has been. It's just out of the ordinarily bad. Like, I don't even think when Zach was the quarterback, we dealt with these issues. Like, at least it might have been a terrible play, but we got the play off, and we didn't have to burn 3 timeouts in the first quarter. That's just so mind-boggling to me.
You know what it is, too, with that play? And look, I didn't think Rodgers was terrible on Sunday. I thought he was mediocre. Like, he played competently, which is what we thought all we needed him to do for this team to win games, which, by the way, was true. If this defense wasn't gutless and could actually stop Jacoby Brissett. But on that play with the 2-point conversion, Rodgers said it was his choice to not burn the timeout because he didn't think it made a difference having the play they had called from the 2 or the 7, where he's wrong, in my opinion, Andrew, and you know because you've been around football. You basically eliminate any threat of the run being an option if you're calling a play from the 7 versus the 2. At the 2, there's at least the threat of, hey, maybe you hand to Brees or Braylon Allen, whoever the running back is out there. When you're snapping the ball from the 7, the defense already knows it's a pass play. That's an advantage for the defense.
Great point. I'm going to play the 2-point clip, and I wasn't even thinking that. That's a great point, and I don't really understand that. It makes even less sense that if the play was what it was, that you were going to give the ball to Mike Williams at the 4-yard line. It's like passing the ball before the sticks on 4th down. Like what are we doing? I'm going to go over that play, but
can we start with that play? Why don't we just get into it, man?
Let's
get the pain of this film review over with, and then we'll take some calls and answer some super chats from the people. We'll start with the 2-point try, but I don't know what it is, man. Like, obviously, Rodgers hasn't been terrible. He's not their only problem, but it's just like, I don't know how this is happening to a Hall of Fame quarterback, but we now all can see your screen, Andrew, so go ahead, break down the 2-point play.
Yeah, so I'm just going to run it fully, and then I'll go over it. There's a lot wrong with this play, a lot. And I don't know, Jake, the amount of times I've seen Garrett upset on film, I feel like in the past couple of weeks, has been absolutely insane. Like, I'll just run it here. So what the Pats did was what most teams have been doing to us recently. And if we go 5 wide, I guess, wow, Irvin Charles is getting a rep here. I did not notice that. So it's literally 5 receivers on the field. Irvin Charles, Devontae Adams, X, Garrett, and Mike Williams. As you said, we're at the 2-yard line, probably a Brees or Brown. There's a threat of a run. Here, the Pats knew. Someone said it after the game that Rodgers is just not how he's been mobily. So what are you going to do? A guy that can't really move, you're going to zero blitz him. What does that mean for people that don't know? You're going to all-out blitz and play man coverage on the back end. Man, 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 man. What they do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 guys that are potential rushers on 5 guys blocking. And Rodgers tells the line to slide to the right, which ends up being wrong because what this called is like, it's not like a green dog is what they call it, but if the defenders slide to your side, you're going to drop. So this linebacker drops out and becomes an extra like hole defender. And then you got an unblocked guy here. So what the issue is Tyron Smith, I'll get to that on the end zone angle because he does a terrible job. What you have here, what Rodgers reads, Mike Williams on like the shallow in, and then it feels like Garrett on like a little go, like a little seam this way, fade this way, and he doesn't throw it to Garrett, who wanted the ball. Like it's very easy for me to do this, where I can just pause the play and say, hey, right here, when you're releasing it, what I would be thinking, especially in a guy that's as good as Rodgers, is he's releasing the ball. Look at this safety is biting down. He's flat-footed. He's over pursued. Right now you have this. You have so much area. I know this keep getting in the way. Right here in the back of the end zone, all you have, just lob it up to Garrett. You have a ton of area. 2 guys are sitting on this in route for Mike Williams. 2. Now there's a guy in your face and you're panicking. Fine. But the last thing you could do here is put the ball in the field of play. This needs to go into the end zone. Absolutely must go in the end zone. And just give Garrett a chance. Throw the ball up. Right here, both guys are flat-footed, and Garrett's on a speedway to the end zone. Look, his hands are up. He's like, wow, I'm shocked he didn't throw it to me. When we watch it from the end zone angle, it kind of makes a little more sense why he didn't throw it. But, again, it's not excusable on either sense. This is 100% on Tyron Smith. It's a rookie mistake by a veteran where you have to know, and again, this could be on Rodgers for setting the line the wrong way, which, again, I told you, if they set the line to the left, this guy would have backed out and this guy would have blitzed. You're going to have an uneven blitz, overload blitz on wherever the line slides to. It's just a smart way to play defense and blitz. So what you have here is Tyron Smith needs to go inside out, because what does that mean, guys? It means that the farthest defender from Rodgers is going to be coming scot-free, not the guy that's closest to him. So not the guy that's going to be creating pressure so instantly. So what happens is, I'll just pause it quickly after, they slide to the right. So Timmons slides protection to the right. 53 sees that. He drops out. Now unfortunately, you have 3 guys on 2. So what's happening on the left side is they out-schemed you. You got out-schemed. Fine. Tyron, you cannot set and block no one. You just can't. You can't do it. I don't know. Again, I'm trying. You know what? You know what's funny? I'm taking it back. Because
I think it's on Tyron Smith completely. Rodgers, I think he want to get hit, so he just got rid of it quick.
But Jake, I'm going to be honest. Now that I'm rewatching it again, probably the 5th time, I think that if Tyron thinks that the line is, look, again, I'm not the smartest guy with what they're telling the guys in the room by Keith Carter. I don't know fully, but if the line is sliding to the right, I would assume. No, you know what? I wouldn't assume that. I would just assume that this is a mistake from Tyron Smith. Like, inside out, you're just taught that. I know you're taught that from college, from high school. If there's zero blitzing, it just factually makes sense that you want to block the guy that's closer to the quarterback. Again, Tyron gets mistaken and just blocks nobody. I don't know why I second-guessed it. Honestly, this is 100% on Tyron Smith. Just
now,
100%.
Should Aaron still throw it up to the end zone there, or do you give him a pass because he's literally getting pressure the second he gets the ball?
I don't give him a pass, Jake. I would give, like, this is where I go back to, like, I'm giving Zach Wilson a pass. I'm not giving Rodgers a pass here. And why? It's because he's staring at it. He knows he's creating a little space for himself. Right when he's going to release it, you got to anticipate throws. That's what the best quarterbacks do. Rodgers does it all the time. You have way too much area here to just give up. With these 2 guys sitting flat-footed, they're both sitting on it. They both drive on the ball, and he has no chance to get in. He catches the ball at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was ridiculous for Aaron to be like, I like the play, whether it's at the 2 or the 7. It's like, come on, man.
Yep. And Garrett, he's like, there's no way. He's jumping up and down, hands on his head. Now, look, we just get out schemed here. But Tyron just needs to go and block the nearest guy. He takes like a normal pass set. First leg pops out, just makes a mistake in my eyes, and gets in between because he sees two guys coming, tries to even put his hand out to stop him. Can't even stop him. So, yeah, there's two guys in. But picture this. Picture Tyron blocking this guy, and now Rodgers has a ton of more time. That's why I'm saying you got to go inside out. You're always taught that as a lineman on a blitz. You go inside out. So you're going inside here instead of out. You want to always block the inside guy first because right now this guy would be blocked. You have a ton of time, and Garrett would have scored 100%. So mostly on Tyron Smith, also on the fact that this is just a good schemed up blitz by the Pats, also on the fact that we should not be at the 7-yard line in this play. That's absolutely inexcusable in the sense of that they're saying, hey, they're going to go 5 wide, 100%. We're going to zero blitz them. And these two guys are both they're alerted that if they slide to you, you're going to drop out. The teams run this kind of zero blitz all the time. So you see Timmons slides that way, 53. He's just going to go occupy space in the middle. He's green dogged. He gets to go. It's just a give up play though. Like Rodgers, we can't just be like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to lob this up. Like Mike Williams making a jumping catch. So it's not even like he's on the run. He's jumping. So he's going to get hit immediately. It's not on the run where he can maybe lower his shoulder and get in. It's a jumping catch that's not going to be completed for more than 3 yards, which is what they get on the play. Like it's just not possible. You need to, I don't know, Jake, you need to audible out of this and get Garrett on a bubble. If that's how you want to do it, if you don't want to throw it to the end zone, you're worried about getting zero blitz, run a screen. There's a lot of ways to beat zero blitzes, and we just don't seem to understand how to. And obviously, there's just a lot of incompetency on the offensive line to go along with that. Because as I rewatch this, if Tyron goes and gets this guy, 91 will not be at Rodgers until Rodgers sees that both these corners, as I go back, are flat-footed. And look, he's like, oh, damn, I'm beat. He knows it. So he goes back a little bit and then comes back because he sees Mike Williams gets the ball. Again, it's just so much wrong with one play. I feel like I've never went over a play for this long. There's so much wrong. And it all starts with the delay game.
It's just terrible. And this was Mike Williams' only target in the entire game. He ran 33 snaps as a receiver, 33 routes. Wasn't targeted once. This is not even technically considered a target on the 2-point try. But that was the only time he got a pass thrown his way. I
don't understand. And I don't know. I just always try and like dot my I's and cross my T's. Like, what if anyone's thinking that there's no Garrett wasn't ready or he's not going to throw it? I'm telling you, when you watch film, all the time there's throws that are anticipatory. Like that's just normal football. That's what timing is the king in football for quarterbacks. You need to like marry your drop to your timing, marry the route to the drop. Everything's important. So right here, you lob this ball up and you put a little trajectory on it, you're going to have Garrett. You're going to have him. Now, it's not Rodgers. It's not only on Rodgers here. I just know he's way too smart of a football player to just give up. This is giving up. It's just like, whatever. I'm just going to float it. We got a 5-point lead. I don't really care. We screwed the protection. They had a great blitz plan for us. I just don't. I don't know, man. He's always had that killer instinct, and then all of a sudden, it's like not even throwing it to the end zone. It's just mind-boggling. But again, Jake, we would not be in this place if it wasn't for the delay game. So I don't. It's compounding mistakes over and over and over again. It's the definition of insanity.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. There's 370 of you in here live right now. Make sure you guys check out Andrew's work with Jets X Factor and jetsxfactor.com to view it. Use promo code Asman and get your Jet X membership for 99 cents for the first month. Let me get to a couple super chats here, and then we'll get back to the film review. This one's from 25 who says Max Mitchell might genuinely be better than Tyron. Your thoughts on how Tyron played in this game? I thought from the naked eye he was better. Obviously, this play was brutal that you just showed. I still would like to see Olu Fashion start playing. Use the 11th pick in the draft on the guy, but what are your thoughts on where Tyron Smith's at right now?
It was one of his better games this year, to be completely honest. And like, again, to be completely honest, the offense wasn't that bad this game. Like, we missed a field goal. I think we had 2 touchdowns, right? We definitely had 2.
They had, I think, 3 touchdowns in this
Gibson,
game.
Conklin, and Braylon. Yeah.
Yeah.
With 3 touchdowns. I looked back. I was like, damn, we didn't punt. Like, I think we punted a couple times.
Well, one of them was completely cowardly on the opening drive when they punted from the 40. They took the delay of game on purpose instead of just going for it.
Oh, just awful. Yeah, that was really bad. But yeah, I don't think the offense was that bad. I think Rodgers got sacked 1 time, and I had that clip. So
look, this type of performance was to me like what we said before the year, that if he just is competent, they should win most of those games, and they should have won this game because he was competent. But the Jet defense, which is supposed to be the strength of the team, the backbone of the team, had a chance to win the game, end this losing streak, up by 5, and they allowed Jacoby Brissett with scrubs around him to go 70 yards up their ass, and that's why this team lost. That's what, to me, it comes down to that, and obviously Zuerlein, which is a whole nother story, and that's on the GM. The fact that Greg Zuerlein, as of 4:30 Eastern on October 29th, is still on this team is an abomination. But they lost this game, in my opinion, not because of the offense, but because of the damn defense failing them, and that's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I rewatched that drive earlier today, and I was like, is there any clips that are even worth showing? Not really. If people want to see Sauce flip his hips to the sideline and go the wrong way, and then Brissett, I mean, make a decent throw. That whole drive was just like, there's nothing really noteworthy. It's what's been going on the whole season. Like, our D-line gets pushed out of their rush lanes. I don't know if Brissett rushed for any yards. I feel like he got a huge 3rd down gain on that drive, actually, himself. Yeah.
On 3rd and 11, he picked up the first down?
Yeah, someone's getting pushed way out of their gap on a rush lane. Like, it's what's happened every week for us, so it's not surprising. But, like, we let Jacoby Brissett and Drake May look like prime Josh Allen scrambling. Like, I don't – it comes back to the coaching, though, for real. It really does. Like, it cannot be this bad every week. Like, they can't be this unprepared and this poor at what they're doing. But also, Jake, the personnel just isn't that good. It just isn't. Like, Hassan did not play well on Sunday. Did anyone expect him to? I don't think so. But, like, he looked like a guy that hasn't played for a long, long time, that's been not practicing.
And then he's got to shut his mouth on Twitter trying to go at Belichick. Give me a break, dude.
Yeah,
100%. 100%. Super chat from Martin, who says, Salah and now Coach Jeff are woke. All right, I'm not doing the woke. Thanks for the super chat. I don't think the issue is that Jeff Ulbrich is woke. All right. I think the issues are he's not a head coach, and you're thrusted into an impossible situation because the owner fired the head coach who wasn't very good to begin with 5 games into the year. Ace of Spades says if A-Rod returns, he needs a play caller he respects. Look, I don't really care what Rodgers wants because they went all in for this year with him. It obviously has failed. It has not worked. If he's back next year, great. But every move they make is for the future of this team, a la drafting a quarterback, hiring the right head coach who then gets to pick his staff. And if Aaron's not on board, he could retire or go somewhere else. That's the reality. But, like, they're not going to do everything they want around a 41-year-old quarterback who'd be coming off a bad year. You can't do it.
Jake, I cannot imagine what's going to happen if the Jets finish 5-11 and they would it be 5-12 now? I think
5-12, yeah.
Yeah. So they finished 5-12, and Rodgers says he wants to come back, and we have like a top 5 pick, and we don't take a quarterback. I also don't know what GM, like, I'm assuming that Joe Douglas is going to get fired, like, very much so. What GM is going to want to come in and, like, have Rodgers and then have Rodgers be like, we need to draft someone that's going to help us win this year. Like, I think we're all over it at this point, like, to be completely honest. Like,
no, look, Rodgers could be here next year. I don't have a problem with that, but they still need to draft a quarterback, and that guy could sit. I think throwing a rookie out there in this market, we've seen it. It eats you alive. I think you could do it in Houston. You could do it maybe even in Chicago. You could do it in Washington. I think the Jets doing it after it failed with the last 3 quarterbacks they've drafted really high. I don't think you could do it here. Like, I would have no problem with Rodgers being the quarterback next year with a first-round pick sitting behind him. The last time the Jets actually did that was with Chad Pennington, and it worked.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's a good point. The only thing I'm thinking is, like, I as long as the infrastructure that the Jets have or will have for said quarterback is good, I never want the kid to sit if it's going to be a good situation. Like, you need a play at some point. I understand sitting behind Rodgers would be a good thing.
Look at Jordan Love.
Yeah, no, there's definitely great examples of it. Like, it just depends who you'd be starting in his place. Like, I don't know. I always am the proponent of that reps mean everything, and you want to get as many reps as you can as early in your career as possible, because just as you build more and more, it's really just about the infrastructure. Like, if I was a rookie quarterback and I had Ben Johnson coming in as my offensive coordinator, I would, as a fan and as a coach, I'd be like, hey, I want to play that kid right away, because as long as the kid's comfortable, that's kind of what it is. It's really like as you've seen, like Drake May didn't really start the year because the team isn't that good and they don't want him to get killed and his confidence ruined to start the year, which made sense. And then they were like, oh, let's throw him in against the Texans D-line, which again didn't make that much sense to me, or I feel like a lot of people had talked about it, but it's all situational based. That's really what I'm just trying to say. It's so situational based.
It definitely is. Now, there could be a scenario where, you feel good about what they have around the rookie
Yeah,
quarterback. Like the Jets in '09 were set for Sanchez to have a great situation, right? That was a really good team that
right.
he walked into. So you're right. I just think this media market, this fan base will eat a young quarterback alive. Like you start to see it. Like Sam lost all his confidence. Zach Wilson lost all his, like it just, if you start struggling, it's tough. I think sitting is not the worst idea, especially if it's Rodgers, a Hall of Famer he gets to learn from for a year.
Yeah, no. Like you said, I think situation it just matters. Situation just matters. If it's Rodgers, you're sitting behind, and there's not really a guy better that you could sit behind. But if it's like a bridge quarterback, like that, I feel like we've done that before. Like, oh, we'll start like Teddy Bridgewater or Fitzpatrick and sit someone behind and sit the rookie behind him. If it's something like that, I don't ever see like what the Colts are doing right now. I think is one of the dumbest moves that an organization can make. Going to Flacco.
But here's my thing, right? Everyone said Anthony Richardson was raw and he wasn't ready. So you thrust him out there. He's not ready. It's true what everyone said. And now you're going to yank the plug on him. And it's like, well, you should have been playing in the first place. And now maybe you wrecked his confidence.
Yeah. Well, Jake, he played 4 games last year and then got out and then was out for the season. So he started and finished a total of 8 NFL games in his career. And his advanced stats are not nearly as bad as a lot of other quarterbacks. They're right around where Josh Allen was after 8 to 10 starts. So like that's an example of like the organization failing the kid. Like there's no way that you could be thinking that right now a 39-year-old Flacco, unless you want to go get blown out in the wild card of the playoffs, then be my guest. But like you said, this is possibly irreversible damage on a kid's like mindset. So I don't know. I just would never want the Jets to do that. Like if you're gonna go all in, and like don't yank the kid after 10 games in the NFL.
25 with a super chat. Then we get back to the film review. JD needs to go. Let Woody take over the fire sale. I don't care. Let me and Lane be your front office. We could do a better job. I mean, I do think there's something to be said, though, for Joe Douglas and Woody Johnson having a conversation if they lose on Thursday, which I expect them to. Hey, what are we doing beyond this year? Because Douglas's contract is up. If Woody's like, you're not coming back, then just get rid of Joe now. Have Phil Savage be the interim GM for the rest of the year. And they should have some sort of fire sale by this deadline on November 5th. If you can get anything for DJ Reed, Tyler Conklin, Mike Williams, hell, Hassan Reddick and Devontae Adams, I'd be open to trading them. That's what I would look to do. And then you could phantom IR Aaron Rodgers, play Tyrod and Jordan Travis, hopefully by the end of the year. And it is what it is. Like that to me is what a smart organization would do when they assess the state of affairs. What I think the Jets will do is absolutely nothing besides maybe a Mike Williams trade. And that's about it.
Yeah. Just like you said, though, it's going to be weird. If Douglas is still here, he's going to be all eyes on trying to make the most of this season.
Right, because he needs to win to save his job. But that's why I would say, hey, if you already made up your mind on Joe Douglas, just get rid of him now and then do what's in the best interest of the Jets, which is acquiring assets to make this job more attractive for whichever GM you're going to hire next.
Correct. Again, is Woody smart enough to do something like that?
No, he's not. That's the problem.
So yeah, I completely agree with you.
You know, thinking is overrated.
Allow me to think for you, Woodrow. All right, or Woodrow, whatever his real name actually is. I can't handle it, man.
Yeah.
This team's really breaking me, man. Like it's tough. All right, back to the film review. This won't be painful. Continue, Andrew.
Yeah. Try and get through these ones quicker than the first one. This one is pretty simple. It's honestly the only one on the defense. I just watching the defense is just like almost more frustrating to me than the offense. But again, I'm literally gonna play this like maybe twice. This is just sauce up here. It's 2nd and 15. And they're in like a red zone quarters. So it's like he is a quarter, he is a quarter, he is a quarter, he is a quarter. Oh, yeah. He is a quarter, DJ Reed. And then 3 guys under. Now, Sauce last night tweeted about this play and then deleted it within 2 minutes, but I was on Twitter when he tweeted it, so I saw, and he responded like the guy Dove Kleinman or whatever his name is, and he was like, "This was great ball placement. Like, why are you guys always like picking on me or something like that?" Like, I mean, that's a whole nother discussion we have to have with these. Just get off social media, dude. What are you doing? And you play better, maybe, but whatever. Sauce just gambles. It's a really simple, just like, is it a smoke screen? It's a small flat route. Sauce gambles, misses a tackle, and lets us go for 14 when it should have been 4 or 5 yards, I wrote. And then obviously they scored a touchdown the next play. So it's just simple stuff. Like, it's 2nd and 15 here. In what world is any other corner trying to go pick this off? Like, just be smarter. Just be smarter. Wrap up here. But no, he's just pansying. Like, actually, it's 2-hand touch. And then obviously they get a 3rd and 1, and then they score a touchdown. So it's just little plays we continue to make mistakes on, little things. Like, his tackling's been awful all year anyway. But, like, you're not even close to intercepting this ball. You can't really see it on that angle. But, again, it's a 4 or 5 yard gain that turns into 15. It's just simple stuff. This is a running back on a hitch route. That should be a pop. You should be hitting him in the back, and maybe he'll drop the ball. He's not a receiver. And you're just running around him like it's Olay and it's flag football. Let me go try and catch a pick 6 and make a big play. And it doesn't even look athletic in the slightest from him. So do I think he's had a down year? No, actually. Like, I think everyone's really overrating his down year because of a couple of splash plays. He's still really high on like yards per target and everything and all those good stuffs for DBs. But when he's made bad plays, they've been really bad, and his tackling has come into the spotlight because of those splash plays he's letting up. And I mean, that's what Sauce is at this point. Like, I don't know what everyone thinks, but he's not going to be a good tackler because God knows what they're teaching over there, but he just doesn't really care. And like, the effort's really what's been concerning Jake. The effort on his tackling has been horrific. So,
well, even on that play, Andrew, like, to me, that's Sauce getting in his head that, oh, you haven't had an interception in 2 years, man. Like, just trying to do too much, you know? That's what I think that happened there. Like, you saw an opportunity. Oh, finally, I'm going to go get a pick. And, like, instead of just being the normal lockdown corner he is, make the play, get the guy out of bounds, live to see 3rd and long. He jumped it, and it cost him a touchdown. That play directly set up what I'm doing on touchdowns to get him back in this game.
Yep, 100%. Like people keep saying, like, they're all pressing. Like, it's a lot of pressing out there, and that you can't do that when you're in a must-win game. You got to just go wrap up. We don't do anything fundamentally. We're not a fundamental football team. It just doesn't feel like, again, I was watching the Steelers last night. Like, they might not be the most talented team, but everyone flies to the ball. Everyone's like playing for each other. It just does not – it feels so individualized on this football team. Like, no one goes to pick people up after they get a first down. Like, no one's that excited for people after they get a tackle. It's like the linebackers always look happy for each other. No one's really – excited for it's just a mishmash of talent. It's not a team. That's the best way I could put it.
And I think a lot of that is because Saleh wasn't a very good head coach. We know that, but I think he was their leader. And obviously the idea of Saleh being fired was supposed to spark this team, according to the owner. And it's had the complete opposite result. And look, as a fan, I thought it was a little early to do it. I did think it was possible if they lost to Buffalo, but clearly it hasn't worked. It's been the total opposite of what they thought it would do. Now, to me, it just kind of expedited the shit show that is this team because they were not making the playoffs, I don't think, with Saleh anyway. But it basically expedited them being eliminated in October as opposed to, like, maybe, December, for example. That's kind of my feel on what that move ended up being.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Here we go. Quick super chat, then back to the film review. 25, we need to draft a quarterback from UL Monroe. General Booty. We need someone to be the general of this Booty franchise.
That's great.
You know what? Not a bad idea. All right, Andrew, continue.
All right. So this play is not so much about the play itself, but what ensued after it. So look, I'm just going to run this play and then we'll talk about it. It's 3rd and 1 at the 10-yard line. It's 14-13. We're losing. Now there's 8 minutes left in the third quarter. If I'm a coach, I'm saying, hey, Aaron, you have 2 plays to get 1 yard here. We're inside the 15-yard line. Keep in mind, we had 2nd and 1 before this play, and Brees was very impatient and not decisive, which he is sometimes when you just need to put your head forward, which Braylon's better at. But hey, let's not give it to Braylon. Let's let Brees dance around. He didn't get a yard. You could go back, watch the clip. It was bad by him. Whatever. 3rd and 1. I'm still telling, hey, Aaron, we have 2 plays to get 1 yard. So this is kind of an RPO here, which means a run pass option. You could hand it off to Braylon for a little, what it would be probably like duo or inside zone. So if it was duo, it would be duo blocks, or just inside zone off of one of the guards, whatever it was. Unless you have one-on-one with Devontae and you really like it, you could take it. So what happens here, everyone blocks down. Rodgers knows he has one-on-one. It's a great ball. And again, I need someone to go back and watch it for me because I still, for the life of me, can't tell on the all 22 if this was a drop or a pass breakup. Like I continue to try and stop it. And it's just, I can't tell. And I don't know if you remember, Jake, from the broadcast, was this a pass breakup or was it just a drop?
I think it's credited as a pass breakup, but I think Devontae will tell you this is a play that he makes in his sleep.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of see like his hand isn't in there yet, and the ball is past it. So yeah, I like again. I like the read from Rodgers here, 100%, because Rodgers and Devontae. This is a touchdown most of the time. Like really, one-on-one. I know Christian Gonzalez is really good, but your one-on-one RPO. Everyone down blocking, so that's the run option of it. You get the linebackers to fly up. It's literally 7-on-7 drill. Great pocket, no one near him because every single person's blocking. Besides, I think that's Rucker or someone going out for a pass. And you have Devontae on a slant. You'll take that 100 times out of 100. That's fine. That's fine. You'll live with that result because of the decision. The decision is what matters, and he made the right one on this play. What is not fine is kicking the field goal after this play. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Like I cannot stand the decision. You need 1 yard. You're 2-5. Be aggressive. You already don't trust your kicker. If you don't trust your offense to get 1 yard inside the red zone, in my eyes, you might as well not show up every week. Just don't show up. What's the point? It's 1 yard. We had 2nd and 1, and then we didn't get it. 3rd and 1, didn't get it. I don't care. Trust your team to impose their will on someone else, which I know we've never done, and go get 1 yard. That's just, you got to send your team a message at some point like, hey, I believe in you guys, and I don't want to go up 1 point. I want to, the score again was 14-13, so I don't want to go up 2 points. Let's put our foot on their necks, go get 6, and then try and go for 2 and maybe make it a 21-14 game, and there's a whole lot different feeling to the game in the 3rd quarter.
It's so cowardly, man. It's so cowardly. Yeah. It's like, and like that decision, like just embodies the energy level from this team. It's like, we'll just take the field goal, take the lead. It's like, no, man, step on their throats. You're playing a crap team. Be better than that. Go win the game.
It's like, let's just be conservative. Our defense will probably get another stop. And like, let's just go up 16-14. It's fine. I don't agree. I will never agree with that. I think it's absolute BS and horrible football. Horrible. I don't know how you could have such little confidence in your team to take them off the field on 4th and 1 at the 10-yard line. No one does it anymore. It's not a thing. Like the NFL is very aggressive. Maybe if you're up 30 points and you're like, we'll just kick a field goal. It's a close game. I don't care if you don't get it. You have them backed up at the 10-yard line. Okay, then you go get a stop. No one has confidence in each other. It's not a team. It's not a well-coached team. It's pretty much just a joke. That's all it is.
Andrew, your thoughts on Lane Kerner's idea that the Jets have to move the football down the field?
I agree, but I think they've been doing that and it's not working. Truthfully, they've been doing that and it just nothing's changing. So,
all right. Well, I think we have more film, correct?
Yeah, just 2 more clips. So
here we go.
Okay, this was 3rd and 7 sack. Yeah. Okay. If you thought it couldn't get worse, I don't know if you saw my tweet. This tweet people were laughing at. So it's 3rd and 7. There's 12 minutes left in the game. Let's just keep in mind, I'm trying to give context to everything. Football is nothing without context, nothing without film. The Jets took a timeout before this play. They took a timeout. So everyone out there, they just went to the sideline. They're very confident now. They know the protection, what the coverage is probably going to be, and what the play call is. So they're very comfortable. Now, all you're going to get here is they're assuming man coverage because the Pats run a ton. So Devontae motions out. You're going to get mesh. So Brees mesh, 2 shallow crossers under each other. Now, what I'm about to show you on the end zone angle, and I know people on my Twitter were saying, oh, Rodgers needs to get this ball out. Okay, fine. Probably should get the ball out. What I just don't understand for the life of me is how in the world they're going to show this in film and this be okay. You see anything wrong here, Jake?
Yeah, I see 3 guys blocking one guy and another Patriot rusher about to sack the shit out of Aaron Rodgers.
For the life of me, they're running a simulated pressure. Okay. They're going to send 4 guys. Now, Brees here, I was thinking about blaming him, but I feel like Brees probably thinks that he's going to guard him, so he's just like trying to press him. Okay. Now, who do I blame here? 100% Hanson, like 1,000%. But also, this is on Keith Carter. Like, how are your guys this dumb? How? I was watching the film. I was like, "There's no way. This has to be like some prank," and it wasn't. And guess what happens? 53 comes scot-free and sacks Rodgers. Now, again, people were commenting on my Twitter. He could have got the throw off right here, just like lob it out. I don't know, man. This is really tough.
He's 40. He can't move. The whole point was he wouldn't have to be under duress. That's like people miss what this team was supposed to be. That's what it's so frustrating.
No, good point, Jake. Because I remember we talked about it all offseason. As long as we could keep him upright, we'll be okay. His mind is still somewhat there after this season. I feel like it's a little deterred, but his arm's still there. Like, yeah, right here, if he was not panicking, you could lob the ball to Brees and hope he turns around in time because he does turn around right away. But if you look on the field view, you're going to have Brees right here. Maybe a touchdown. You have him. They're playing man. You have tons of space. You're going to get the first down. If Hanson just doesn't somehow make the Jets a massive mockery on this play, getting 3-on-1. Like, I've never, ever seen that in my lifetime of watching film. I've seen a guy get chipped and then a double teamed. I've never seen 3-on-1 in a pass set, ever. So, and guess what, Jake? Not only did we call a timeout before this play, not only did we mess up the blocking this bad, but guess what happened on the play after this?
I believe the next play after this was the Greg Zuerlein missed field goal.
Correct.
Yep.
So, like, no one would believe us. I feel like if I was writing a story or a book, and it's so unbelievable about this team that they could compound issues in such a unique way. I've never seen it before. It's like every week it's a new magic trick. Like, no, we're not only going to call 3 timeouts in the first quarter. Screw that. Let's go to just this play only. It's going to be 3rd and 7. We're not only going to have the right play call because Brees is going to be open, but we're going to block 3 guys. We're going to call a timeout, then have 3 guys block 1, get sacked, and then miss a 40-yard field goal to take the lead. It's just inventing new ways to lose every single week. No one would believe it. I swear. It's unbelievable.
No, they literally invented a new way to lose on Sunday when we gave the stat earlier that no team has ever done what the Jets have done in NFL history and actually lost that game. It's just, it's unreal. Real quick, 25. I mean, he won. You want to know why he has all these super chats? My man hit a 6-leg parlay during Monday Night Football last night and turned $10 into $2,700. Shout out to 25 for supporting the show. Adam, 7 receptions, 84 yards, 0 touchdowns. Out there just doing cardio. What have you seen from Devontae his first 2 games as a Jet? I do think Garrett's production has something to do with his presence because we're watching Christian Gonzalez shadow Devontae most of that game Sunday, and Garrett obviously had a big time performance and had a lot of production. So I do think from that standpoint, Devontae's presence has opened some things up, but it's he hasn't been vintage Devontae with Rodgers yet, of course. So what have you seen from Devontae on film?
Yeah, I was not going to show the last clip, but I'm not going to because I don't think it's relevant at this point, Jake. But this clip, can you see the screen now?
Yep, go ahead.
Just for reference, look how they're guarding Garrett on this play. Just watch right down here. I've never seen a team do this to Garrett this close to the line of scrimmage. They're just doubling him. He's just getting double teamed. I think after they were getting killed the whole game, they kind of left Devontae with single coverage, and Devontae's getting open. He is. He doesn't really get open here because he's running this little mesh, trying to pick this guy off for Brees. But Devontae's getting open. I think that the offensive timing is really bad overall. There's just a lot wrong with the offense. It's not. I don't think Devontae's been bad at all. It's not like he's dropped any passes that I could recall.
Other than the first one, which was probably a bad throw in the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, it was a bit outside, but there's no continuity. Like there's more. I just didn't want to do more film, but there's more plays of the route concepts all near each other, and no one being on the same timing. The offense has no chemistry. So adding Devontae, it helps for Rodgers, but it doesn't help for all the other receivers. Like it's just not as seamless of a fit as everyone thought it would be.
If you're watching live right now, hit the like button. We're talking with Andrew Fialkow, breaking down the film. Andrew is on the fence whether or not he will join us at the Halloween game on Thursday. He had friends he wanted to go with, and they all bailed on him. And I said, Andrew, I got an extra ticket just for you to hang out with the Asmaniacs. So we're going to try and peer pressure Andrew into watching the shit show in person on Thursday. And also, it's Halloween. Maybe we'll have Boomtown send you your custom Asmaniac pumpkin. How about this? Shout out to Boomtown for sending me this last night on the Discord. Custom Asmaniac pumpkins.
That's great. That's awesome.
It's spooky season, baby.
Yep.
And also, Andrew, if you do come on Halloween, you'll have the honor and the privilege to meet in person none other than this guy.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Yes, Andrew, you better be there. I'm telling you. You better be there. Jake's giving you a free ticket, so you better be there. You better be there.
Are you going, Bobby? I feel bad you're going.
I'm going. Yeah, me and my brother. You get to meet Michael too. I don't think you ever met Michael either.
Bobby, I'd rather take you out to dinner.
Oh, really?
For real. I don't personally want to go to the Jet game just because I'm.
Oh, come on. Jake's gonna be there. Me, Michael.
Oh, no, it's all a bunch of. I love you guys. My mental health has been deteriorating slowly.
Oh, I know. You have to look at these stupid plays that the Jets do. They're moronic. They can't get anything through, like you said.
Yeah.
Why didn't they go for the 4th down and 1? I was screaming at the TV, going in for a field goal when you're 2-5. What the hell are you doing?
Look, man.
What are you doing, you dumbasses? You know,
preaching.
I know. And then, I mean, they should have won that game. That defense, like Jake said, you don't have very many receivers out there that are good. They have Boutte. What's his name? What's the quarterback's name? I have a
Jacoby Brissett.
No, the other guy.
Drake May.
Yeah, May to Boutte. So yeah, and then our Yankees better. They better win tonight.
They better not get swept. They're not going to win the series, but they better show some guts, show some pride. Don't get swept.
I know. What's Aaron Judge doing? Just standing there at the plate? Well, I think Andrew's a Met fan, anyways.
No, I'm not a Met fan.
You're a Yankee fan?
Yeah.
Good boy. So please come to see me. I want to meet you in person.
I'm telling you, Bob. Anywhere but MetLife Stadium, I'm there.
All right. What about? We're coming down by train, right? Do you want to meet us in New Jersey at our hotel?
That's also tough because I'm not near there.
Oh yeah, I know you're out on Long Island. What a dummy I am, right? Well, we're going to take.
He's not on Long Island.
Not on Long Island.
Where are you?
I'm in Westchester and the city.
Oh, that's right, Westchester. Oh, you really are? What part of Westchester?
Scarsdale.
Oh, I know where Scarsdale is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where New City is?
Yeah, that's like upstate, right?
Here we go. Geography with Bobby.
No, I'm just asking. You know how I am. Okay, so yeah. Too bad we couldn't beg him to come, Jake. We tried.
Next time, Bobby, when we do some off-season meetups when we're all hopeful again.
Yeah.
You'll meet Andrew.
What are we going to be hopeful for?
Well, I don't know. We always find a way to be hopeful. That's our time to shine.
Yeah, but we got to get rid of that. Woody has to sell the team. He's like he said, what's the thing he said in that video? Thinking is what?
Overrated?
Yeah, maybe he got a brain aneurysm when he said that. When he said, yeah, thinking. And then you know who I don't like is that Colin Hurd. Bull crap what he says. He says that Case was a great coach. Grace is a great coach. Dummy, you don't know nothing. Then he says Aaron Rodgers is cancer. Then he talked to Jeter and says, "Oh, did you play against Nolan Ryan?" No, back it up, boy, back it up. He put him in his place.
Yes.
That
All right,
game,
Bobby. Anything else on your mind?
Well, I did it. My computer went off this morning. Don't get mad at me. I saw the comment. The guy said, "Oh, I'm a diva." You know, won't you come and talk once in a while? The one who typed that diva stuff. I want to see him get on the air. You know, my computer just gave out this morning. Sorry about that. I wanted to talk to Robbie Sable. That's my guy. He was on this morning, Andrew, like you are. I'm happy I got you. Then tomorrow we go to get my fresh Jeff tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, Jeff. Oh, me and Jeff are pals. He's not coming though, right? Is he coming to the game?
No, he's not.
No, he's in Las Vegas. Ooh. I want to go out there visit him. Las Vegas. Okay, Andrew, you have a great night. And Jake, let's go Yankees. And Andrew, let's go Yankees tonight. I hope it's 6-2 tonight. 6-2.
Let's go, baby. Keep the season alive.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm there. Bye now.
You know I love the Yankees and the Jets, and to read the super chats are more than just a hat. Bobby.
Scintillating conversation with Mr. Midnight there.
Top tier.
Super chat from Nate. Bobby, J-Quest's son birthday. Time to sing to John Luca. We can't be singing for people's kids now. We're gonna be singing all year. I got 40,000 subscribers almost, Nate. But happy birthday to J-Quest's son. Cactus Johnny, House Cole not pitching tonight when Numbnuts Boone prematurely pulled him at 88 pitches. The way I look at it is, you're gonna need to win 4 games no matter what. So save Cole for tomorrow if you could somehow win tonight, so he's not potentially compromised. Because I don't think he's 100% healthy. They yanked him with 88 pitches in game 1. That's my personal thoughts, but we'll see. I mean, everyone's available tonight. You got to get to tomorrow, but I would save Cole for tomorrow. I do think the fact that they're hitting Chisholm now ahead of Stanton's ridiculous. They should be moving Judge down, Stanton up, so Stanton gets in that bat in the first inning, not down. Terrible. That's my Yankee rant. All right, more of your calls right now, and then we'll say goodbye to Andrew. Gary's on the line. Uh-oh. Hey, Gary.
What's up, guys? Look, this is not 2020 going into 2021, right? Like, we're going to tear everything down, but we still have some attractive pieces. You still have JJ and Sauce on defense. You still have Breeze and Gardner. This is not like 2021 where you look at it and it's nothing but garbage. Like, you can land a decent coach. The coach is going to get to pick their quarterback. They have a stud running back. They have a good receiver. They got some pieces on defense. They got Olu. They got a left tackle. Like, there's things in place that may get you the coach that you want. This isn't like and maybe, I don't know how it works out. You have the rookie quarterback you draft to sit for a year with Rodgers. I don't know what Rodgers wants to do. I'm not counting on that, but potentially there are some things to work with here. It's not 2021. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah. I don't know, though. It's you still have a pretty brutal cap hit coming from Rodgers with saw it earlier on Twitter. Like, depending on if we cut him post June 1st or if he retires, it's quite a cap hit that's being charged to the Jets. So
it's only $14 million if it's post June 1, right?
But then I saw it was like $35 million the year after.
Yeah, but that's not brutal considering the cap continues to get, like, you can handle one. Like, they have $50 million in dead cap this year. You just got to structure your books so you're not cooked in 2026, which you should be fine. Really, with Rodgers, I think it comes down to how does the rest of this year go? Like, one, does he even want to keep playing football? Like, I don't know.
2 other things I wanted to touch on. This whole Joe Douglas thing is really interesting. It's just like I was a loony bin because I was a little more perspicacious than everyone else and saw this before the season started. But now we're 8 weeks in and everyone wants to fire Joe Douglas. I mean, I've been calling this 2 days before he was hired, as a great man once said.
Yeah, but
nothing's changed. He was an idiot then, who was clueless then, is an idiot now. I'm not saying I'm not saying he shouldn't be a scout.
I'm a scout. Gary. We can't revisit going into this year, not keeping him. We all agree the team was talented, and they're still talented. But where I will kill Joe Douglas is the Zerline situation, because it's the same mistake he made last year, neglecting backup quarterback. That, to me, is where you could hit on Joe Douglas. That's where you could criticize him.
It's not assembling talent. It was assembling talent, like just the best team on paper would win every year. It's putting 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense who act as if a cohesive unit.
Agreed, but you thought this team was going to the Super Bowl, Gary, so you're one to talk.
I was wrong. And I'm not the GM of the Jets. I'm not paid. I don't have to get this right. He has to get it right. And it was obvious that he didn't get it right.
It's not obvious. You thought they were going to the Super Bowl, so now he's going to be fired because they're going to miss the playoffs. You're going to get what you want. You couldn't do it before the year started.
It was obvious from day one.
It was not obvious from day one.
I called it.
You did not call it.
No,
you did
yes,
not.
I did.
No. You did not call it.
I said
you
talked to fire him. He's incompetent 10,000 times.
No.
You said he's not incompetent. Well, he's going to be on the unemployment line. You think he's going to get a job? You think he's going to get a job as a GM?
I don't.
Again?
I also don't think he's completely incompetent either. He's obviously has not
so
done
he'll
a good.
Get hired again? He'll be a GM again?
Maybe eventually. He'll certainly be in an NFL front office right away. He's a pretty good talent evaluator. The roster's very good.
Scout, and there's nothing wrong with. I don't mean that to degrade
Gary.
I don't mean that to belittle him.
You can't claim victory here when you've talked out of both sides of your mouth with this take.
No. Going all in on 1 year and getting guys on 1 year deals is not what a GM does. That's not a great GM. Anyone can do that. No. After this year, we all knew it had to come down anyway. So he went all in on 1 year and it failed miserably. Like, yes, you can assemble all talent and put him on a team. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you look like the KG and Paul Pierce Brooklyn Nets. It's a disaster.
But Gary, I understand you knew Joe Douglas was a bad GM from the start. What did he do wrong this year?
None of the pieces fit together, right?
What was the solution? What would have been the solution when you know you're in this really, really small window with a guy that you went all out for in Aaron Rodgers, who really unfortunately had a torn Achilles 4 plays in the season, and then obviously it was a big mishap not getting a backup quarterback last year for a team that was way more cohesive than it is this year, correct? But in the offseason, you're trying to make this push. You know you have a year, maybe two. I don't know what else he could have done.
And that's why I said you don't draft players you aren't going to play in an all-in year. If you're going to have a top 10 or 11 pick, as it turned out, you have to draft someone who's going to get on the field and impact winning game one. You can't keep drafting backups in years that you're planning on going all in. If you would have took Bowers, you would have had the best pass catching tight in the NFL. Instead,
that's really what it all comes down to, though. If I'm understanding,
it all comes down to Salah. It comes down to
all about Bowers. I was just waiting.
Every single step of the way is wrong.
I do.
It's everyone.
What would the Jets' record be with Brock Bowers right now? You think they'd be undefeated?
They probably have one more win. It probably wouldn't be much better.
But that was my point, Gary. Like, obviously, yeah, we want Olu to play. I don't know why he's not playing. But hindsight's 2020. Tyron Smith was a second-team All-Pro last year. But we know he has a major injury history. So they did the smart thing, trying to protect the 40-year-old quarterback and adding him, adding Morgan Moses, and still having some depth, the best, swing tackle you could get, an 11th overall pick who was known for being an elite pass protector in college. Obviously, I don't know why they're not playing Olu right now, but this idea that that's Joe Douglas's fault, that's on this incompetent coaching staff's fault. If anything,
who hired the coach? He hired the coach.
I get it, but if you're but your criticisms of Douglas overall don't jive with what you were saying about the team coming into the year.
When you can't hire a stupid low IQ coach who can't speak in sentences, you guys said, oh, it doesn't matter that he's stupid, right? No, it kind of does. You can't fix stupid, and there's no replacement for intelligence. He'll never be okay as a GM because it's a job that requires intelligence. That's the one thing he doesn't have.
Wait, so you're saying intelligence. Who doesn't have intelligence? Joe Douglas?
Clearly, he can't speak in sentences. He's 500 pounds, a little less time in the stat lounge, a little more time in the film room might be the right equation for the next GM. Right? And like hiring Rex Ryan, and we all love Rex Ryan, is a stupid decision. The game passed him by in 2012, whenever he was in Buffalo. The game passed him by then. You want to bring him back a decade later? It's like, this is something the Jets would do. And then we're going to say Rex Ryan sucks because he went 5-12. It's like, no, the game passed him by. It's like, you want to hire Marv Levy or Bill Cowher or Jimmy Johnson too? You want to bring those guys in? They were great coaches. It's like let's hire someone who's been in football the last decade and not on the AARP line. Like, why is that complicated?
What do you think Joe Douglas would say if if he had a chance to respond to you as he's listening to a guy call him fat and uneducated who's wearing a Nets jersey and has cornrows.
That just sounds like an Ed Hamilton fallacy, right? Like, what's wrong with a Nets jersey and cornrows? Like, what's wrong? What would Joe Douglas say? It would probably be incoherent. Doug be like, Joey like football. Probably be something along that.
When Joe Douglas counters all your points and says, "But Gary, you picked us to win the Super Bowl this year, and you thought this was the most talented roster since 1998 the Jets have ever had." What would be your response to that?
Well, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. That was my pick.
So Gary,
let's get there. Let's get to New Orleans.
So you picked this team to make the Super Bowl, which look, I didn't really make predictions, but like you can't really go as back and forth as you're going. That like he's the worst. So if he's the worst GM ever, then why the hell would they ever make a Super Bowl?
Because they went all in. They got the gift of Rodgers. I thought Rodgers wasn't going to be Rodgers of 2015 or 2013, but I thought he'd be a hell of a lot better than this. And if you have a good defense, like if you put Rodgers on the Broncos, Rodgers, what I thought we were getting, not the Rodgers I thought we were getting on the Broncos, that could be a Super Bowl team. Could be. Like, that's how big of a difference having a quarterback like Rodgers makes. Like, it was like when you were a kid, there were two types of baseball teams: the teams that had Mariano Rivera and the teams that didn't. And what team always seemed to win? The one that had Mariano Rivera, because it's that much of a game changer. Having Aaron Rodgers, you can put him on a 500 team with a good defense, right? If their strength is defense, and you add Rodgers, you have 90% of what it takes to win. You have a top-notch defense.
Did you think you were getting MVP Aaron Rodgers?
I said I didn't think we were getting 2014, 2015, not 30-year-old Rodgers, but I thought we were going to get the one that we saw in Green Bay, at the end of Green Bay, who was still very, very good and would win you games when they needed to be won. He was not going to throw for 400 yards a game.
Well, that was your mistake, because I never thought they were getting that. I thought they had a team around him. I thought they were going to get 2022 Aaron Rodgers, which would be more than good enough if this team was what we thought they were. If they were last year's team, and last year's team had issues.
If I put Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, right, if I put those guys around that Rodgers that was on Green Bay, he's going to have much better numbers, and that team's going to be a lot better. That Green Bay team was a little bit kind of trash, and he kind of made the most out of it.
Well, he was hurt that year, and they were very young. But honest question, Gary, do you have like access to the coach's film, the All 22?
I have access to it, yes.
Have you watched
I haven't watched it since the Steelers game. I'm not gonna watch it anymore.
So before that, did you think that Rodgers was like, in my eyes, I've watched every single drop back he's taken this year. I think he's regressed due to the coaching, but that's his decision, due to the offensive line and due to the lack of cohesion with the receivers. I also think that he's just been gun shy because he doesn't trust anything. So I think he's been possibly worse than not possibly. He's been worse than 2022. Especially with the injury, he's very immobile now. The one game he really looked like himself was obviously the Pats game. Yeah. But besides that, it's been not Rodgers that really I think we could compete with, even if the defense is as good as it is.
And that's why I was like, I called you last week. I don't know if you remember, but I called you last week and was like, is this like Deontay Wilder thing where his body just will no longer do in what his brain wants it to do? Like, is it like I don't know, because it doesn't look, you're right, it doesn't look like the same guy. And maybe it's the fear of the injury. Maybe it's just his body's getting old. Maybe he doesn't trust anyone. He's injured
right now. I think clearly he got his kicked in against Denver and Minnesota back-to-back weeks, and he hasn't been the same guy. He was healthy against New England. He was the first two games this year, he was shaking off rust. He looked like Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter in Tennessee, and then he looked like MVP Aaron Rodgers the entire New England game. And they haven't won since because he hasn't been healthy since. And the team's not as good as they were last year in a lot of areas, despite the fact we thought they were. But they haven't been. No one could have predicted Tyron Smith falling off a cliff. He was a second-team All-Pro last year. Even if he's not that, if he was just competent, they'd be in a better spot for it. And that's just one example. Go down the list. Sauce Gardner's not All-Pro this year. He's good. He's not great anymore. Like, there's so many examples of that. And that's the biggest difference.
Also, one more thing for Andrew.
Yeah, quickly. Okay. Also, something that's not talked about a lot. The trenches mean so much now. Like, it just does. Offensive line, defensive line. We lost JFM, Quinn Jefferson. Huff we lost, and we replaced him with a guy that showed up for 18 snaps so far this entire year. Like, it's a lot has happened. It's not like that's why football, you can't just think, oh, next year it's just going to be the exact same. Well, we've already lost half the defense that was really anchoring us, and people regress. Corners regress. Cornerback's the hardest position in sports. You regress a little bit. And we've had injuries galore. I mean, there's a laundry list of reasons why this team isn't where it should be right now.
The last thing I wanted to ask you about was, did you see my boy Jameis Winston?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Man, I know this is people are getting mad. I love Jameis. I mean, he's just a great dude. I didn't like. Oh wait, as a player, he's like very volatile. Like he's high risk, high reward. That's just always that's how Jameis plays. But he looked good, and I'm happy that they showed because like I feel like Stefanski, who I'm a huge fan of as a coach, was getting like wrongfully like shitted on. Part of my French because he was like being told he had to start Deshaun. Throw Jameis in there. That offense is. Like I feel like it happens like though, Gary. Like what happened the first game Andy Dalton started for Bryce Young?
Yeah, he did. That was, yeah. All right.
The defense sees this and they're like, "Oh, we have no film on this guy from this year." So Andy Dalton's playing his butt off, and then like the next 2 weeks they look terrible. But look, I like Jameis more than Andy Dalton anyway. I don't know. I hope Jameis does well. That's all.
Yeah, look, I live by the motto. Babe Ruth used to say it, and Kobe used to quote him: "I swing big, I miss big. So what?" Right, and that's kind of how I look at quarterbacks.
That's literally
right?
what Joe Douglas just did to try and rebuild the Jets, and you said that this was the best team they've had since '98.
And he missed big, yeah,
right. And he will be fired for it, Gary. But you're arguing for him to be fired before this year started was moronic.
No, it really wasn't.
No, it was because in your own words,
need a smart person to make smart decisions. He's not going to do the clapping seal part.
What do you mean?
I do want to, but I'm not going to do it because Gator's going to use it out of context, and then it's going to go viral, and then I'm going to have to look at it forever.
God, I don't know if for those who don't get the reference, Gary referred to the chat as 75 IQ clapping seals.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I missed that.
SEAL Team 75 assemble. Dylan wrote LMFAO. Jay came full circle and Gary can't handle it. Yeah, I mean, he can't have it both ways. He can't pick them to win the Super Bowl and say it's the most talented roster since '98 and then say, I was right. Joe Douglas should have been fired before the season started. No, he got this year. That was the whole point. If they don't win, he's gone. And he's going to be gone. Good Lord. Ace of Spade with one last super chat for Andrew. I'll stay on to get to the rest of the calls. Andrew, if you were the GM next year, who's your head coach?
I mean, obviously it depends who's available. I'd say like my top.
Let's say you could get any one of like the presumed candidates.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I really, really want an offensive guy. I would be head over heels with Ben Johnson or Kevin Stefanski. I don't think Stefanski will get fired. So I don't know though. I mean, Ben Johnson would be as high on my list as I could remember in the past of guys I've wanted. If there's anyone else out there, I'm trying to think. I don't know about Vrabel. I'm not really into Rex. I feel like it would really be like Ben Johnson, but again, I don't really know why he would want to come here. I don't see why he would want to come here, but if Woody wants to pay him, then I'm all for it.
Ben Johnson, if they go the coordinator route, Mike Vrabel, Kevin Stefanski, they go the experience route. Those are my top three.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Stefanski's going to get canned?
I don't, but if he is fired, I'd hire him in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I completely agree with that for sure.
Andrew, great job. Thanks for putting up with Gary and being the one who had to actually watch the film review so we could talk about it on this show.
Yeah. You know what? I have a weird feeling this week, Jake. I think the Jets are going to win this week.
This is the game to win, right? Because no one's going to pick them. And it's like everyone's checked out now that they're 2-6. So it's like now they go win. And it's like, where's this been? Couldn't you see that? I could see it. And then they probably lose to Arizona next week.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm just going to put some good vibes out there because I've had the worst, most negative thoughts. Why don't we just go into the bye at 5-6?
Why not?
Hey, we win Thursday. We play Arizona. That's not a hard game. It's not an easy game for us because no game's easy for us. But you know what? Maybe we just don't beat ourselves 3 games in a row. We beat ourselves 5 games in a row right now. Maybe we just decide not to 3 games in a row. We go into the bye 5-6, and then I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just putting it out there.
Maybe they win 9 in a row, make the playoffs, go on a run all the way to the Super Bowl, and Joe Douglas gets an extension, and he shouts out Gary at the press conference announcing the new deal.
That would be poetic justice.
Andrew, great work. If you decide you want to join us at Jet Life, I have a ticket for you.
I will be in touch with you, Jake. Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Andrew Fialkow. Man, He's doing God's work, having to watch these film reviews after last year. Michael writes in, if you want to know how the Jets are doing, just need to look at Allen. The happier he is, the shittier the Jets are doing. So true. So true. Let's say hello to Adam, who is up next on the Gusbuster Hotline. Hey, Adam.
I am loving the receipts today. With Neil and the left tackle from earlier in the first session, and then this one with Gary. I mean, just ridiculous. So the inconsistency of some of our fan base just drives me insane.
Yep. By the way, before you make your points, Adam, thank you for the super chat earlier with the Bonesy stuff. That was awesome.
No. Hey, I work in sales. I didn't think he was getting it. I thought, oh, he's doing this wrong. It's lost. But hey, I'm going to honor it up. I'm going to pay it, and hopefully you guys can split a beer or something.
Love it.
Split a beer, but get yourself, yeah. So anyway, I'll be up there Thursday night. So I'm taking the 549-mile drive to MetLife Stadium from West Virginia. This will be my third game of the season. Went to the Titans game, went to the Steelers game, which was debacle, just debacle. But super excited about being up there and seeing everybody. What do you think our best case scenario? I mean, next 5 games. Do you think that we have any chance at all at turning this thing around? I mean, realistically.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's always a chance, right? That goes without saying. And it's not like, look, I don't think they're going anywhere, but I think they're not going to lose out. They're going to win some games. Like, it's the Jets. They will win games when it doesn't matter. It's what they do. I mean, do they have any chance of like winning Thursday? It's not the craziest thing in the world. I mean, the schedule's not hard, so they're gonna luck into some wins here because like the other teams they're playing, they'll eventually beat themselves too. You know, but I mean, I just got to see them get a win first, and then maybe it could snowball a little bit, and we'll see. But the schedule is not crazy. Like if they do somehow win Thursday, it's not inconceivable. They're 5-6 at the bye. It's unlikely, but it's possible.
Yeah. And then I'll leave you with this. I've been doing a little light reading today. I'm not sure if you could see that.
Love it.
I don't know, man. I'm so not convinced that this is the right move, but I think this is the most Jets move. I could see Woody bringing him in and saying, okay, don't touch the defense. Don't touch the offense. Just motivate and make the decisions, which Rex is going to mess with everything when he comes in. He's going to try to get his own defense in there. It's just, I think it's a disaster or a train wreck potentially. If it's a midseason move, which is unheard of, but totally Jets, that's my big concern. So hopefully we don't have to deal with that this year. I loved Rex when he was head coach, but I never want to see him back again. It's time for something new and different.
I love Rex.
Offense.
Yeah, he's not on my top list of candidates. I think he should interview. I'd be curious to hear who he wants on his coaching staff. Who the GM is, I think is more important than who the coach is first before you hire the coach. But yeah, I mean, it stinks because if Woody really wanted to make a move, instead of firing Saleh and replacing him with Ulbrich, you fire Saleh, you bring Rex in to kind of oversee everything, and then you let Ulbrich continue to hold everyone on defense accountable, and Rex kind of be the master motivator of the team and getting everyone to buy in. Like, I think he actually would be like, instead of taking Jeff Saturday off TV, if Woody was like, I'm going to take Rex off TV and throw him in, as crazy as it sounds, maybe that would have worked better than what they're doing right now.
Maybe I just don't. I mean, we don't have the personnel to run what Rex runs.
No, it would be Ulbrich's defense still. It would just be you don't stretch Ulbrich thing. You just let Rex handle game day motivation, game plan, all that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, looking forward to seeing you guys on Thursday night. Thanks for everything you do on the broadcast, and appreciate you, Jake. You have a good day. Okay.
Looking forward to meeting you, man. Thanks for coming out, doing the group buy with us, and we're gonna make it fun, win or lose. To those joining us, or for those who had tickets and didn't do the group buy, we will be tailgating on Thursday with Gotham City Crew. So I believe there's still tailgate tickets available. So go to the Gotham City Crew website and join us in Lot J3. Get your tailgate ticket. They have food, drinks, games, a live DJ, and much more. It's a lot of fun. So looking forward to that. All right, a couple more calls here before we wrap. Let's say hello right now to 25. Hello, 25.
What up, brother?
What's up, man?
Nothing much. I'm going to go on the record right now and say that I think Gary has brain-eating amoebas. Like, I don't – there's something not right there because I want JD gone just as much as the next guy, but you can't oversight what he's done right. He was great in the draft besides Zach Wilson, which every GM – you miss on quarterbacks. It happens. He just wasn't good in free agency, signing and making sure we had the right people or pulling the right people, getting backups, which brings me to my next point. Why does this team wait to do anything? They waited to fire the coach. They're waiting to fire the GM. They waited to get a backup. They're waited with Greg Zuerlein. They're waiting with Tyron Smith. Like, why can't we just pull the trigger? What do we have to lose at this point? That's why I think that we're cursed. It is what it is. And the Jets, I will never bet on the Jets again. The whole organization is banned. Like, I can't even if I could bet on Joe Douglas getting fired, I wouldn't do it, because with this team, they'll keep him. I'll do it and they'll keep him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Douglas is gone because I don't see this team turning it around. But there is a scenario they win enough, and Woody's like, well, this team was the most talented team in 25 years, and I believe in him as a football guy, and I want him to stick around. Like, could happen. And also, I think it's unlikely, though. I think he's gone too.
Does Woody have him locked up in a cage right now? Can he not talk to us? When was the last time we heard from him?
Well, here's the thing. He never talks unless he has to. He talks before the year, once the season starts, and then he'll talk after the year, and he'll talk usually at the Jets bye week or at the trade deadline in season. So I don't know if he's going to talk around November 5th or he's going to wait till after the Jets are done with their game against the Indianapolis Colts into the bye. But he never talks. This is always what he does. And I thought it was the biggest horse crap last year he didn't talk, because Salah's being asked all these questions about how shitty Zach Wilson is. And it's Joe Douglas's fault why Salah only had...
I felt bad for Salah last year. He's putting him on the hot seat on purpose.
Well,
they're supposed to work together?
Well, Salah had to deal with all these questions that should be directed at the GM, because the GM put the team together. It wasn't Salah's fault why Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle were his only quarterback option, so they signed Simeon and then never played him until it was too late.
Simeon. I don't even want to hear that fucking name again.
He's better than Boyle. Trevor Simeon was 2-1 as the starter.
I don't know. Boyle is still employed. I don't know how. I don't know how. But last point that I'm gonna make is Tyron Smith needs to be arrested for robbery. He is robbing this team and he is robbing this fan base. Of only the Jets would we be worried and draft Olu strictly because of injury concerns, and he's been fucking healthy. He's just ass now. That's it, man.
Yep. Yeah, he's not good. Unfortunately, he is not good. And good call, 25. It's just only the Jets is right. I mean, when they signed Tyron Smith, there's not a single person on the planet that thought it was a bad move. It was a good move. He was an elite last year. He's a second-team All-Pro, but he's not playing all 17 games. So they got to have better offensive line depth. And then I think Douglas did the right thing. He went O-line. He got Olu Fashanu. And Tyron Smith's been out there, and he stinks now. It's not even like he just went from, All-Pro to, he's like a league average starter. He's bad. This only happens to the Jets. The best, though, is Neil being upset they signed Tyron Smith when I got him with this.
If we don't get Tyrone Smith and shore up this goddamn offensive line, I'm done. This is bullshit. Everybody's praising Joe Douglas. I got to tell you, I'm starting to get pissed. This is the difference between a winner and a goddamn loser. We're a bunch of losers. I'm tired of it. Tyrone Smith's sitting there. What does Joe Douglas say? Draw the line. I will give you $12 million. Wait, you're not going to pay the guy? What are you waiting for? Jesus Christ, I'm pissed.
I'm pissed too, Neil. I'm pissed too. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I'll stay on a little while longer here. Let's say hello right now to someone that, some of us detest. Some might like. It depends on what your opinion is on this guy. How do I word this? Well, I won't word it. I'll just simply give you guys a warning.
Allen alert, fraud alert, curmudgeon alert, Allen alert. Nobody likes this shitbag.
Hey, Alan.
I have to say my popularity has grown over the last few months because being proven right, I think I've gone from
you've been back a month.
I know, but over the last month, I think my popularity has gone from 18% to about 30%. I'll leave it at that, okay? To 25, we will never, as I said this to you before, we will never hear from Joe Douglas again as a Jets GM. Never. He will never talk again. He just won't. I just don't think
he might have to talk in season by rule, so we'll see.
Again, if they lose Thursday night, would it shock you if they fire him before next week? Honestly.
No, honestly, if they lose Thursday night and Woody's already made up his mind he's not coming back, I'd get rid of him now and have someone start jettisoning some of these veterans who won't be here next year and get some picks.
I agree. And that's why I can't allow Joe Douglas, with a few months remaining on his contract, to make trades like DJ Reed or Hassan Reddick or Mike Williams. It doesn't make sense. I love Gary. I don't know if I'm part of the 75 IQ club. I might be. You never know. Sometimes I am. But he definitely takes a hit when he said this team was going to win a Super Bowl. And then he goes back on his word. It's not a good look, Gary. I never thought this team would win a Super Bowl. I thought this team had a chance to be good. I thought they were 10-7, but I never thought this was a Super Bowl winning team.
SEAL Team 75, assemble.
The Clapping Seals, they're alive and well in the chat.
I love Gary. I mean, it's a bad take. It's a bad look. But again, when we decide to do the intervention with Bonesy, can I be involved in it? We do. Because listening to him today was again, you got to take I don't know, how many minutes were you following him in the shoe store? What, 25 minutes, 20 minutes?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That's the best 20 minutes you've had in the last few months, honestly.
Well, because they haven't won anything. That's the problem.
That's why it was the
fact that we even needed to spend 20 minutes on Bonesy live selling a shoe in the middle of this season that was supposed to be the best season ever, it just shows you how bad it's been.
Jake, you're a good friend of Bonesy. You've met him a couple of times. You've hung out with him. Can you explain to somebody of my intellect his logic with Joe Douglas, please?
He loves him. He loves him. I don't know what to tell you.
How does that work? How does it work? Please. You have not heard any stupider take than him today. You can't. You can't.
No, I take calls from Gary every day and many other people.
Today's call with Bonesy might have been Gary level. It might have been. It was getting there. It was close. It was.
But Bonesy's just so afraid of them not being able to hire anyone better that he's just like, well, Douglas has done some good things, so we got to have him forever. And
you realize he would keep Joe Douglas for another 3 years.
Of course he would. He'd make sweet love to Joe Douglas.
Enough said. Thank you very much, Jake. I appreciate it. And by the way, the Yankees get swept tonight. You know that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Wonderful. They better not, man. They're not winning the series, but show some guts. Win a game. Gets a hit. Can they hit? Can they score some runs? I know the Dodgers are better. The Yankees blew their shot in game 1 to steal that one. But it's no excuse to not hit, man. And moving Stanton down to 5 is moronic. Should be moving up, not down. Judge should be moving down. Big fella in the house. Jake, where's the Gotham City Crew tailgate located? Looking forward to seeing you and the Asmaniacs Thursday. # proud SEAL Team 75 soldier. The Gotham City Crew tailgate, big fella, is located in lot J3. So we will see you there. J is in Jake. 3 as in the number 3. The one film review play we didn't break down with Andrew was Titman snapping the ball off his ass. Here's Brian Baldinger with that.
The Jets do a lot of things that just make you scratch your head. Like, what is this play? Rucker goes in motion, and he comes back. All right. Xavier Gibson comes in ghost motion, but it's not really a fake to him. The linemen are all going downfield. Morgan Moses, Titman, right? Simpson, they're all downfield. But they're throwing a screen to Breece Hall. Like, sometimes you'll get one lineman that will leave a little early and go downfield. But all 3 linemen are downfield. So what is this play? There's not even a fake to Gibson here to hold anybody. Nothing. So now you get all these guys downfield. And now you're going to throw a screen? Like, on what universe do you do that? And they don't block anybody. It's just a head scratcher. What is the play where all these guys, Moses, Simpson, Titman, would all be downfield? Maybe this one play is indicative of the entire Jets season to this point. Not over yet. But this is just hard to explain. All right, Breece Hall off the play action is going to run into his guard, knock his guard off. But still, the protection's pretty good. All right. Now, the Jets are running 3 deep routes with Garrett, with Devontae, all right, and with Xavier Gibson. So they're going deep. All right. Aaron's like not feeling it, but he's got a safety valve right here in Tyler Conklin on 2nd and 6. Now, for some reason, he throws it off the back of Tyron Smith. And now it gets crazy. Tippmann touches it. Simpson touches it. Like everybody touches the ball. And Aaron's down here just getting crushed by 2 Patriots, and the ball's rolling around on the ground. It's an incomplete pass, and Aaron gets up, and he's just completely frustrated because he's never seen anything like it. But he's a part of it. Like just a complete ineptitude in what they're doing.
Jets football, baby. The best. Let's say hello to the Lup man. He's next. What's up, Luppy?
Hey, how you doing, Jay? I got a couple of points. JD, I can tell you why Bonesy likes him. Because Bonesy is patient. And JD takes about 3 years to get something right. And I was a JD truther. The problem is JD waits and waits and waits to make a decision that we all know needed to be made a year ago, 6 months ago now. It's just he waits so long, and he does what the Jets do. They milk you. Oh, maybe today. And then it doesn't happen, or it happens too late. So he's got too much faith. I understand Bonesy. I love him. He's great. But JD is just $1 short and a day late. All right? So I'm off the JD train. I am. Listen, and the second thing is, Jets had me at the Broncos. They really knifed me and realized that the team is broken. The team is broken offensively, and it's been offensively for a while, and the team is broken for accountability. And nobody is putting anybody to the fire. We thought Ulbrich would do it. Maybe he turns his head on backwards and does something about it this week, because I'm still going to root for him, because I'm still bleeding green. I will always bleed green. I've been through the shit times and the better times. Sorry about the curse, but I've been through it all, Jake. And has it gotten worse? No, but this is the most disappointing season that I've ever seen as a Jet fan. I've been for a while. There's no direction. There's no identity, and there is no leadership on this team. All the stuff, that's why people want Rex, because he boasts that's his thing. He's not the coach for us, but that is what we're missing. We're missing direction. We're missing leadership. We're missing accountability. We're missing all of that stuff that makes a football player a football player. And that's something that is disappointing, and that's why this season is disappointing, Jake. I will still think I'm going to be rooting for them, and I hope they beat the Texans. I want to see winning. I'm done with losing. I don't care what draft picks we do, because we'll fuck them up anyway. But I don't care. I want to win. I want to see winning. I want to be on Sunday having a couple of beers and be like, yes, when they hit the end zone. That's what I want.
Yeah. Look, and until they're eliminated, Luppy, great call. I'm rooting for wins. I'm rooting for wins. Like I want this team to win games. They're better than 2-6. I just saw a quote from Rodgers, who's speaking now because everything is expedited with the short week. And he's like, there's still a lot of season left. Like that's the mentality the players need to have. Then play like it. All right. Don't play like you're dead. They played like they were dead on Sunday. And they still could have won because New England sucks, but there's no reason to lose to them. Go win games, man. Go win 3 in a row before the bye. Be 5-6. Give yourself a slight chance. 25 writes in, if JD got Ozempic, maybe he would have the energy to get off his can and do something. Now that is mean. That is mean. I would just like JD to sign a kicker, which Jeff Ulbrich, by the way, providing an update on that. This is so comical. They're still undecided. This next couple days, we're going to see where we're at, Ulbrich said. The game's in 49 hours. Unreal. Landon is up next. Hey, Landon.
Hey, what's up, Jake? How you doing?
I'm all right, Landon. What's going on?
Dude, I've been a Jets fan for since I was probably 7, so that's roughly 14 years. So I haven't seen one good season yet. I mean, 10-6, but I didn't really watch it back then, so I haven't really seen the Jets be good at all.
2015 was your first year?
No, I've been a Jets fan since I was probably in first grade, but I didn't really watch it. I couldn't really comprehend football, I feel like, back then, but I've been into it since we had Josh McCown at quarterback, so probably 2017.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ish. So, but dude, all my friends, they're like Cowboys fans, and I'm a Jets fan, and they make the playoffs every year, and I just pray that we make the playoffs, and it's just rough now.
Are you in New York?
No, I'm from Arizona, so I'm going to the game on in 2 weeks from now, which, you know, we're probably not going to win it. I hope we win it, but I feel like this Thursday it feels like the Jets are going to win it just because.
How'd you become a Jet fan in Arizona?
So my grandpa, he has a Joe Namath like signed jersey hanging up, and my favorite color was green when I was a kid, so I chose the Jets. So.
Okay. Now it makes sense. I bet you regret that decision.
Oh yeah, I wish I would have chose like the Eagles or like, I don't know, the Packers. They're green, so. But, you know, I'm a diehard fan. I have a Sanchez jersey and a Tim Tebow jersey hanging up in my hallway or in my room. So.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. I wish I would tell you it gets better, but you know, this is as bad as it's ever been. You know, when I was your age and going through it, like the Jets were good. You know, I saw a lot of playoff teams. You know, the Rex years are the best years of my life, so it's been a while.
My parents loved Rex Ryan, so when they heard that when I like picked the Jets, they're like, okay, that's fine. My mom loved Mark Sanchez, so I was like, okay, whatever. But
are you at a Dunkin' Donuts right now?
Yeah,
I love
that's
it,
where I
man.
work. Yeah, so, but my plan for next year, like my perfect like plan that I want to happen is we hire Ben Johnson, we draft Jalen Milroe, and then we get a new GM, and Jalen Milroe sits behind Rodgers and Tyrod for a year.
I think hate the idea because he's like a developmental guy, but I think if they're picking high enough, you need a guy with more like, you know, blue traits that go in the first round, and because you already had that developmental guy in Jordan Travis. I don't know if you want to do another one in Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, so I don't know. The Jets they're probably gonna be picking between 10 and 15 because they're gonna win probably six more games if we're lucky. Maybe probably 4 or 5 games, but I don't know. We always get screwed when it comes to that. Like we can't tank properly, can't win properly. So
that is true. Now, I will say this. At least you're at Dunkin' Donuts right now. You can go enjoy a nice donut, maybe a blueberry muffin, perhaps. Like, it's not all bad.
No, it's doom and gloom right now. Dude, I defend this team so much. Like, I keep, like, sending my friends, like, Greg Zerline's, like, missed extra points. I'm like, we should be 5-3 right now. His missed field goals, and I try to defend them, and it just gets to a point where I can't do it anymore. I'm just, like, so depressed that they're so bad this year.
Well, hang in there, Landon. It'll all be worth it if they one day win.
Hopefully, man. Thank you again, Jake.
You got it, Landon. Enjoy a donut for us. That's great. Love that. A couple more, then we gotta go. I got a Yankee watch party to attend tonight. I'm hosting one with ESPN New York. So last chance if you want to join us. We'll be at Vanderbilt Market, which is right next to Grand Central Station. 25 writes in, only 2 quarterback jerseys I have is Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Well, that's tough. That is tough. Well, I mean, if you're a Jet fan, like what Jet quarterback jerseys would you want to own? Like Pennington, Sanchez, Vinny, Namath. You can go Ken O'Brien. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. We say hello to Mr. B-Mac.
B-Mac, look at my TV. B-Mac, I love Aaron Rodgers. Jets, go Jets.
Hey Jake, yeah, man, the Jets are really starting to piss me off, man. Losing to the Patriots, you know,
they're just starting to piss you off. Join the club. They've been pissing me off for 14 years.
Yeah, man, like, come on, man. Like, this team should be way better than what they are. And Dan gave out that crazy stat and was like, what? Like, only, like, it's like the Jets comes out with stats that nobody ever seen before. It's just crazy. But the green, hey, I mean, if you want to jump on the green and gold bandwagon, you know, we 6-2. We are rolling. John Love's a little bit banged up, but we got a good backup in Malik.
B-Mac, hey you hater guy, Allen sucks and JJ can kiss my ass before I wipe.
One thing that will never happen is any Jet fan leaving the Jets to root for the Packers. No way. Not gonna happen. I mean, you like adopted the Jets, B-Mac. Like, we were born into this darkness. All right, you merely adopted it, or whatever Bane said in Dark Knight Rises. Like, not gonna happen. There's no other team I'll ever root for in the NFL. Like, I made my bed. It is what it is. Hopefully one day it's all worth it before I die. Just seeing if I missed anything from these media availabilities with the Jets. Now, I haven't heard the quote here. But it sounds like Roger says he feels good health-wise. I don't know. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah with a super chat. Men, calm down. I just want to say, Stiggers, what a guy. Love that guy. Sarah, thank you for the super chat. Australian $7.99. I don't know what Australian currency is actually called. But thank you, Sarah. Hope you're well. Super chat from 25. I got put in Jets gear before I was even one. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. Don't want to hear anything from a Packers fan, dog. Yeah, B-Mac, we love you, but we're not Packers fans around here. We suffer as Jet fans. One last call before we wrap. Nick T closes out. Hello, Nick.
What's up, Jay? Yeah, I was wondering about that exchange rate from the Australian exchange rate from Sarah's super chat there. That'd be interesting to know.
No idea.
But she made a good point actually that I kind of want to touch on. Like, at this point, with DJ Reed's contract being up, I'd want to see what Stiggers or Bernard Converse could do as cornerback too. Excuse me. Like, it's worth a shot at this point.
Well, not until they get like their seventh loss. You know, if they lose to the Texans, I do wonder if they're gonna trade some of these guys, and then you would have to play those guys.
But the thing is, like, I get your point. Like, let's see if we get to, but Reed hasn't played like half the games already. So at this point, it's like, really, what are we losing? Right? Like,
well, he's really good though. I mean, he's missed a couple games, but he's really good. He's having a great year.
I think he lost a step, to be perfect.
DJ Reed?
Yeah.
He was great before his injury. He was great. That was the number one corner in the NFL, according to PFF. He was having a really good season. He was doing better than Sauce.
Yeah, but how many people do we say that about? They're great before their injury, and then all of a sudden, contract year for the guy. I don't think the guy's going to
But he hasn't been bad. He's played well. What are you talking about?
I don't think he's been that great in the one or two games that he's played. I mean, come on,
man.
Nick.
Nick, he's played more than one or two games. I think he's only missed 2 games all year. They played 8 games. I think he's played in 6 of them.
I think the guy's lost a step, man. I really do. I don't think that he's as polished as everyone thinks he is. Like, he gets thrown at a lot because Sauce is the other corner. So you're going to get targeted a lot. So you're going to have more opportunity.
Nick, he's been their best corner this year. He's made plays.
He's their best corner because Sauce is never thrown at. And then when
he was thrown at last week, what happened? He got dog walked.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, exactly. Because Sauce is overrated. Let's be honest. Like, as much as we hate to say it, Sauce is very overrated. He's
Nick,
not.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? Read the chat. Thank you. DJ Reed is really, really good. I can't. Maybe Gary was right about some people. DJ Reed's been awesome this year, man. And he's also a great leader of the defense. They need it. The way he plays, his energy, man. DJ Reed's been very good this year. I can't believe that's the last call. He's played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I was right. He's missed 2 games. He's played in 6 of their 8 games this year. All right. I think we're done here. The Jets have really broken everyone. Sad. Thanks, Woody.
Thinking is overrated.
Brutal. All right. We're back tomorrow. We got Will Pod, 9 a.m. We had to move things around this week with the short week. So we'll get into it with him. Everyone. Sarah says, just show my super chat again. Pretend that never happened. Yes. Good idea, Sarah. Thank you. Anyway. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening. I will see many of you at this potential funeral for the Jet season if it's not already over on Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, JETS, 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 Jets. And, of course, let's go Yankees. Andrew Fialkow is on hold, so let's go to Andrew, who's up next. Hello, Andrew.
Hey, Jake. The chat keeps blowing up with these Zach Wilson truthers, so I want to show you some film on this guy to help tell the story. Okay, let's start with this pass to Garrett Wilson. Here's against the Bills. You can see if I stop it here. Zach has a clear shot at Garrett with nobody in his face. Play it forward a bit. Garrett is fighting off the defender here, but single coverage. Stopping here, you see how even a 6-year-old blind albino alligator could have thrown this in a better spot. Thank God, Garrett is a friggin' stud as he makes the catch, allowing Zach to celebrate like he helped the team win a Super Bowl. Here, Garrett tells the ref, hey, ref, did you see how fucking horrible that throw was and I still caught it? Disgusting. One more film breakdown here as we see Zach returning from the sideline, unable to navigate himself with any success, back to the huddle. Thankfully, his teammates were there to help him up off the ground, but unfortunately for Zach, they chose to not help him. Zach's ass had a large bruise that took a while to heal, although his mom's friend gave him some aloe to rub on the buttocks, and that helped a little. Next week, I'll have a full film breakdown of Cole Thompson's scooter crash from the combine. Thanks for having me, Jake. Gator sucks.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for that film breakdown, Andrew.
Dude.
Great job.
I was waiting. I was like, one day I've seen those before. I'm like, Gators gotta get me one on more of these. Oh, Gator. That was damn good.
Jets! You're a degenerate gambler, and you're in your mid-50s. Who bets on the Jets? Have you not learned anything about betting? The Jets are going to come back! No, they're not! They're never going to come back! They're never going to come back!
Hey, Bills Mafia! You're in the wrong stadium, you friggin' a-hole!
You guys football fans? I think the Pats could take the conference this year. I mean, the Dolphins are overrated and the Jets are choke artists.
I wouldn't say that, Mr. Deeds.
Why is that, though?
You own the Jets, Deeds.
I do? Whoa. That sucks.
You think that scares me? I'm not scared of you, you pansy!
Yeah, I'll put my own fist through your face, you friggin' a-hole!
Hey, keep moving, you hump!
Who do you want to win?
The goddamn Jets.